Let's talk about camera movements. You guessed it. The way you move your camera significantly affects how the audience perceives the story you're telling. If you move the camera around just because you think it's creative, you'll confuse your audience. However, this also doesn't mean that every time you move your camera, there's a hidden and deep philosophical meaning that you should consider. Sometimes you just move the camera to follow the action or to spice up your movie pictures. But there are specific movements that you should understand when trying to convey emotions and create tension or suspense. Luckily, by the end of this episode, you know how to move your camera to boost your storytelling skills. Some of the techniques I will discuss may not appeal to you, and that's okay. But don't worry, if you only have your smartphone, you can follow this course where we're aiming to shoot your first short film. Even if some of it seems beyond your scope, you may find the extra information in this episode useful later in your filmmaking journey. Let's start with the basics: pan and tilt. Here, the camera is moving horizontally or vertically in a fixed position, for instance, attached to a tripod. Pan refers to the horizontal movement of a camera. Panning is particularly used to establish a location by scanning a landscape, where the camera rotates around the central axis to the left or right, or to follow the action horizontally in a scene, without moving the camera's position. Tilt refers to the vertical movement of a camera, where the camera pivots up or down around the central axis. We tilt the camera to capture different parts of a scene, such as the sky or the ground, without changing its horizontal position. Dolly shot and tracking shot. Most filmmakers confuse dolly and tracking shots, thinking that they are the same thing. In both cases, the camera moves backward, forward, or alongside the subject. The main difference is that the tracking shot always tracks a subject. The dolly shot doesn't need a subject. For instance, you can use a dolly shot to reveal a different location. You use both a dolly and tracking shot when you need to create a sense of movement in the scene, or when you need to follow a moving subject. You may have seen massive dollies on wheels moving on a truck for Hollywood productions, but you can use ladders, gimbals, or any other creative means to replicate this movement. A crane or jib shot is where the camera is mounted on a crane or jib and moves up and down or side to side. A crane shot can reveal a new part of the scene or create a sense of grandeur. I'm a big fan of crane shots, but not enough to buy my own crane, spend the day to set it up correctly just to get that one shot. You could achieve similar results with smaller setups, creative setups. Or even drones. Zoom. Moving towards someone or zooming in on something has a completely different effect. It's okay to zoom in if you're filming a reality film, like the Blair Witch Project that was entirely filmed as a documentary. We knew that the camera was operated by one of the actors. In a traditional film, zooming in feels somewhat artificial, because it is a constant reminder that someone is behind the camera, thus taking the audience out of the moment. So, if you need to zoom in, consider using a push-in. Push in and pull away. The push-in is when you move your camera toward your subject, making it bigger and compressing the background. When you push in, you're actually bringing the audience closer to the subject. There may be a variety of reasons to do that. To create intensity, your character is making a decision or is having an emotion. To make that moment bold. To create tension or suspense. Look at this sequence here. There's me, obviously scared of something. It cuts away between me and the door. It's difficult to understand what's going on. Now here's the same sequence, except the camera pushes in towards me and towards the door. Feel the amount of tension we're building. We're telling the audience that something is about to happen, that something will open that door, revealing what's on the other side. We don't know what it is, but we know it's scary, and it might make us jump out of our seats. Pulling away, on the contrary, communicates sadness, sorrow, regret, and insignificance. Pulling the camera away takes the audience farther away from the subject, leaving it alone and small, overwhelmed in a big world. Sometimes you can use pull away to communicate the exact opposite. Let's say that your character has acquired a superpower or found something that will make it stronger and more powerful. You can communicate that power by pulling the camera down and away from the actor. A dolly zoom, also known as a vertigo shot or Hitchcock zoom, is a cinematic technique that creates a disorienting effect by simultaneously moving the camera forward or backward while zooming in or out, resulting in a change of perspective and a distorted sense of scale. I have an entire video of this effect that you can check out here or here. In Hollywood, they use multiple people to get this shot, requiring at least a camera operator, a focus puller, and someone pushing the dolly. The background behind the subject will change in perspective and dimension, giving the shot a distorted look that communicates unease, tension, and intensity. You want to use this effect when something unexpected that changes everything is about to happen. Although you may think that this is a difficult shot to utilize, nowadays technology allows us humble independent filmmakers to get outstanding results with very little gear or even just with our phones. Check out these shots I've taken with this app called Dolly Zoom. Search for Dolly Zoom in your app store. Many other apps allow you to do this same trick relatively easily for free. The next shot is by far my favorite shot among them all. It's called the parallax. Camera parallax is the phenomenon where your subject appears to shift in position when viewed from different angles. To get this shot, I moved horizontally from left to right with my camera, while carefully keeping my subject in the middle of the frame. Parallax works best if the background behind your subject visibly changes when filming from different angles. Look for leading lines, symmetrical figures, and geometrical shapes to get the most out of this shot. Handheld. You can communicate something totally different depending on how stable the footage is. Let me explain. In this sequence, you can see two actors arguing. You can easily tell who's winning this argument, who's more powerful, and who has more control. This is because I filmed the one in control on the camera attached to a tripod, which makes the shot stable. I was shooting the other character handheld, introducing natural shakes to the shot. This communicates instability and tension. You'll find this in a lot of films. In the same sequence, the director may decide to shoot one character with a handheld camera and use a tripod for another. The handheld shot is also suitable for communicating action and power. Look at this fight, for instance. The same sequence shot on a tripod doesn't communicate the same amount of action, power, and strength as the handheld sequence does. We made it to the end, folks. As usual, you can find in the description a PDF file that sums up all the information we've discussed, so that you can have a quick reference to consult while shooting your first short film. We're almost halfway through this series. And if you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoy making it, please let me know in the comments. This is the kind of information I wished I had at hand when I started my filmmaking journey, and I'm so proud of giving it to you for free. As you can imagine, making these videos takes a lot of time and dedication. It would mean a lot to me if you could like this video and maybe subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.